I'm sure you have seen gluten-free stamped on foods in the grocery store or labeled on menus, and maybe thought it was a response to the gluten-free fad dieting technique that has been growing over the past few years. However, you may not realize that eating gluten-free is not just a dieting technique, but a requirement for those who are diagnosed with celiac disease and gluten sensitivity. I'd like to tell the story of celiac disease in order to educate the public and to promote change in food manufacturing processes. Many of you may be asking, what exactly is gluten? Gluten is a protein found in grains such as wheat, barley, and rye, which means it is present in foods like pizza, beer, bread, cookies, cake, etc. Over 20 million people must live on a gluten-free diet in America, and this doesn't include those who choose it as a healthy alternative. The severity of your allergy dictates how strict of a diet you must follow. For instance, those who eat gluten-free simply to be healthier or to try and lose weight are on the low end of the spectrum, while those with celiac disease have the worst reaction. Those with celiac disease have to be extra careful about consuming any gluten because it is an autoimmune disease. This means your immune system attacks your intestine when gluten is eaten, damaging it and preventing you from receiving nutrients. Even if minute amounts of gluten get into your system through cross-contamination, for example, people with celiac will experience symptoms. If this is left untreated, more serious chronic illnesses like cancer are a result. Therefore, a complete gluten-free diet is vital to those with celiac disease. When I was diagnosed with celiac disease 5 years ago, I thought I would simply cut out basic foods like bread, cake, cookies, and pretzels. But if that wasn't depressing enough, I soon realized just how many other products I couldn't eat due to cross-contamination and poor manufacturing processes. A food may be naturally gluten-free, but it usually comes into contact with contaminations through preparation. For example, cereals that I had eaten every day for breakfast growing up, I could no longer enjoy and was very disappointed. There are many different ways gluten-free foods can be contaminated. To discuss what happens in more detail, I'm going to look at the cereal manufacturing process. Oats, for instance, are a naturally gluten-free grain. But when they are harvested, the same equipment may have been used to harvest wheat, so the oats are contaminated before even getting to the factory to be processed. Most companies do not take the necessary steps to sort the grains, so contaminated cereal is produced. In the past year, celiac awareness has greatly increased, and some companies have executed changes to eliminate cross-contamination in their facilities. For example, engineers at General Mills developed a machine which could sort the gluten-free oats from the contaminated grains by size. This allowed them to produce 100% gluten-free Cheerios. In addition, they also altered flavoring which contained gluten in many of their other cereals, such as Rice Chex and Corn Chex. This made consumers with celiac disease, such as myself, who hadn't eaten Cheerios in years, very happy. I've eaten a bowl of Cheerios just about every day to make up for the 5 years without them. I'm hoping that over the next few years, more companies will make the same steps that General Mills did to accommodate the growing amount of people who have celiac disease. Thank you for listening to my story about celiac disease. Now, the next time that maybe you have to wait in line behind someone who needed a gluten-free order, you will not only be more informed, but more patient to those of us who really wish we could eat a regular pizza, but can't.